whatever they wanted to do. Plus, they're better connected than Morgantown in general down in Charleston.
Oh, sure.
So the laws are on their side, and
Yeah, when the city has no purview over
anything they do.
pretty much.
You know that they purchased, the Salvation Army buildings.
So hold on, sorry, I'm laughing.
Like now?
Like the ones where the thrift store is?
Yes, they have to be out by the end of January.
Who bought them?
Salvation Army.
So he's saying WVU bought the
I
Salvation
have
Army.
not heard that.
I haven't heard that either. I was in
I
a meeting
neither.
yesterday with the Salvation
What?
Army guy.
I haven't either.
Well, it's just the beginning, right? They've got the building across
To
the
be
street
fair, I
for
think they're
Adventures.
already,
Are you talking about where the Adventure building is, that they're next to Morgantown, Brewing, or?
No, I'm talking about Salvation Army's main headquarters and their
Store.
their Goodwill store, yeah.
What they got to do with it? They don't have property to do anything with that.
Well, they own, they're buying everything up University Avenue. They already have where the old co-op used to be,
Yeah.
and all the way up to Willie Street there.
Yeah, but you
Mo-
still got a parking garage, the sheriff's department, before you get to the Salvation Army stuff.
That's really actually a conversation. That's crazy.
I know that the Salvation Army is moving, but I thought that was so they could put their building on the market soon, but I was at a meeting with Dennis,
was happening. You turned around, you bumped into him.
Any light in that corner is on.
Yeah, I don't think he was a very nice man, was he?
So you're on
Towards
TV
the end of
and
his life,
fixing us.
no. But the Society of France at the time allowed him and essentially made him be that way. So he got a lot, you know, you just look at.
I know,
the-
it's something
You
else,
look
isn't
at
it? I thought I was at
the
work.
women
No.
that he associated with, what happened to them. And that tells you just about all you need to know about going to visit him and taking him a cup of coffee. Save your dime.
You're not
Yeah.
usually here. Are you interested in frat
Anyway.
houses or gun zoning?
Been a while.
Yes.
I'm reading a book that's interesting called The Infidel and the
Well, we're good
Professor.
for a
It's
story.
about the friendship between David Hume and Adam Smith. And the sort of the background story is the sort of the intellectual enlightenment in Scotland in the 1700s.
No, and I.
You wanna go
like
drum
that.
up some on the
Great
street?
I'm good that way.
philosophers and
I'm good.
artists in
Everyone,
Edinburgh.
Danielle's gonna
Glasgow.
close the boat
every
park pool
once
for
in a while,
3 years.
in some,
Try that one.
I'll
some
make an
backwater
announcement
country.
for you. Really.
Yeah,
all
don't
of a
sit
sudden
here,
just
wait till the
boom.
city council
Yeah.
meeting or board of zoning field or something.
Scotland was certainly that. It was a backwater country. You know, it still is in a lot of ways.
And, yeah, it would just, all, you know, in the next 100 years, Scotland just put out all kinds of
Okay,
stuff.
so something that's not, oh, wait a second.
Change the world,
Wait a second.
arguably. Change
There
the
we go,
world.
it is, I looked at the wrong thing.
Ricky, which one was, I heard Pete ask before and I didn't write it down. Which one's canceled?
B,
Second one,
So, thank you.
first minor subdivision,
Okay.
22-13, withdrawn,
Withdrawn.
withdrawn.
And the gentleman on the phone is Mr. Scott.
Yes, and Mr. Kazakian, yes.
say that 3 times fast. 6:30, are we ready? Do I need to, since we're already on, huh?
Tell him to play the theme
Go.
song. Play the theme song.
Intro.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm going to call the meeting of the Morgantown Planning Commission to order. Does anybody want me to read I didn't think so. First item on the agenda is leadership elections for president and vice president.
I'm sorry, what?
Mr. President, I nominate the current slate of officers to repeat if they would be so kind to agree to serve.
Second?
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Are there any other nominations?
Move we
Anyone?
close the nominations.
Anyone? Bueller? Bueller?
Mr. Peter's down here being very, just kidding.
So
Okay.
that was a motion
Sure
for
he
both
does
president and vice
it.
president, just
Yes.
for time's sake.
Okay, and there's a
Thank you,
motion to
gentlemen.
close the nomination.
Move by acclamation. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is general public comments. Any member of the audience want to speak on something that's not on the agenda? Seeing none, matters of business, we have the meeting minutes from December 8th, 2022.
Chair, I would move to approve amending, I think there was a autocorrect change. Mr. Shobe's name is Strobe several
Oh, yeah.
times, but other than that, it looked good to me, so I would move to approve.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Abstain?
It's unanimous except for the abstention. No unfinished business, move on to new business, RZ 22-03, Daniel Scott, 261 Lily Street, 544 and 552 North Spruce Street.
All right, and the petitioners are online, and I just heard somebody else join the meeting, so forgive me. Let me admit them right now. All right, we should have everybody online. Gentlemen, can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the request is by Dan Scott on behalf of Alpha Pi House Corporation, PLLP Morgantown LLC, and Theta Chi Chapter House Corporation of Sigma Kappa Sorority for a zoning map amendment to reclassify the above referenced properties from a B1 neighborhood business district to a B4 general business district. The surrounding zoning is as stated in the packet. The petitioner, Mr. Scott, who is on the line, seeks a zoning map modification or zoning reclassification for parcels 240, 243, and 244 that are identified in your packet. Addendum A shows this as well. It also illustrates the existing and proposed zoning classification in the context of the immediate area. And let me advance the slide. There we are. The application to amend the city's zoning map was deemed appropriate for consideration by the commission, as would not be considered spot zoning. All three parcels of land are adjacent to one another, as well as the B4 district to the south of Willie Street. And this is just a picture of the two properties here, the three properties that are involved. And then this shows the current zoning designation in the area highlighted there in yellow. Please also note that two of the three parcels have an active pre-existing non-conforming fraternity or sorority house use. Parcel 240, which fronts on Willie Street, is located in the downtown Morgantown Historic District, and parcel 243 has a vacant three-story building, and that is the building there with the pillars and columns up front on the screen. One other addition regarding parcel 243, if the zoning map amendment is approved, the applicant intends to reestablish a fraternity house use on the property at 544 Spruce Street, and this use as well as a dormitory use are not permitted currently in the B1 district. While the subject properties have a B1 neighborhood business district classification, they were identified in the 2010 Downtown Strategic Plan as part of the downtown area. And while most of the properties in the downtown area, as showed in your staff report, have a B4 zoning classification, this particular area that was shaded in the red box does not. It has a B1 classification. Analysis, the proposed zoning map encompasses three parcels that we talked about before. Included in your packet are the different Articles 1345 that show what a business neighborhood district, and at least in terms of the intent and the zoning standards are. Also included in your packet was Article 134901, which does the same thing and presents the general purpose of the general business district, which is B4, and the zoning standards there. And this is all provided in Addendum B. In terms of the comprehensive plan, Chapter 3 of the land management, the land managed chapter shall be consulted for any development proposal based on the intent, location, and preferred development types identified in the plan. Additionally, Chapter 3 outlines 11 principles that should be used to help guide the city on how to use land resources in a more efficient and effective manner to foster a high-quality community with distinct sense of place. Addendum C of this report identifies where, in the opinion of the Planning Division, the proposed zoning map amendment petitions are in accordance and or inconsistent with the 2013 Comprehensive Master Plan update. Please further note the following regarding parcels 240, 243, and 244. All three parcels are considered part of the core in the land management plan, and you can see the definition in your packet description. And just so you know, and I sent this out ahead of time, there was a hard copy of the revised plan, so everything that in the revised packet that is struck through is to be deleted. Everything that was underlined and in blue was the correct version. And so you can see the definition of the core, which is the zone of densest development and is generally defined as the downtown Morgantown. In terms of the land management plan future land use map, they identify this area, and let me advance here. They identify in the plan as the downtown enhancement, and that is identified as continued infill redevelopment in the downtown core with a mix of employment, civic, commercial, and residential uses as described in the 2010 Downtown Strategic Plan. After review, it appears that the proposed change in zoning classification from B1 to B4 is consistent with the comp plan update in 2013. Furthermore, the following development types are generally appropriate in the area identified for, and this should be changed as well to downtown enhancement. That includes multifamily, civic and institutional, neighborhood center mixed use, urban center mixed use, and green space. Office research was removed as that was more consistent with the infill and redevelopment classification in the comp plan. And that concludes my report, sir.
Just have one quick question for you, if you can go, yeah, that one.
Yes, sir.
The red, on this map, the red is what is already B4 other than the 3 parcels that we're talking about, correct?
Yeah, this is what's existing.
Okay, so the red is B4, so it would be attached to a B4.
Correct.
The other B4 that kind of juts out over by the yellow?
Yes.
What is that?
This here,
Panera.
this is
It's
Panera.
Panera Bread.
Okay.
And then the Masonic.
Formerly Panera.
Formerly known as Panera?
Yeah, formerly known as Panera, right?
Okay. Okay, anybody have any questions for the planner?
I thought it was an excellent report. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to the applicant then. Anything the applicant wants to add?
Bear with me here. I'm going to switch over so that the board can see you all.
Certainly.
All right, go ahead. You have the floor.
We're seeking this mapping change to allow a use that was previously permitted prior to our involvement. I believe it was the Kappa Delta sorority used to retain ownership of the property and used it for many, many years, I believe going back from 1950 as a sorority house. We were approached by Kappa Delta to purchase said property, and at the time, we were under the assumption that we had, still had a grandfathered use. So we were somewhat surprised when this was not the case. But really, the point of my statement is to just really establish that we're really seeking to continue that previous use, albeit for a fraternity rather than a sorority, at that given location. The 2 other properties that are mentioned in this application are 2 other sorority houses that directly abut us. Both sororities are also joined with us in this application, seeking to ensure that what has happened to us does not happen to them in terms of their use being permitted in the area as well, ongoing into the future. And that's really the extent of what we'd like to say, and if the board has any questions, we'd be more than happy to answer them.
Anybody have any questions for the applicant?
And I'd just add that thank you for letting us appear remotely. We do appreciate that.
Well, it's no problem, this day and age.
It's easy, I understand, but we still appreciate it.
Very much so.
Okay, I guess there's no questions. Any member of the audience would like to speak in favor of the petition? Anyone in opposition? Okay, did you do staff recommendations?
Yes. Zoning map amendment requests should be evaluated on their land use merits alone. The petitioner's development intentions are extraneous, and the planning commission should consider the request on its merits as a land use decision. In conducting such an analysis, the commission should determine if the B4 district is appropriate zoning classification for the 3 parcels of land, weighing all possible future development and land use scenarios as permitted by the Planning and Zoning Code, and a copy of Table 13310501 was concluded in your packet. After review, staff advises the commission to forward a recommendation to City Council to approve the requested zoning map amendment so that Tax District 13, Tax Map 36, parcels 240, 243, and 244 are reclassified from B1 to B4.
Okay, any discussion?
Move that we forward the application to City Council with a recommendation that it be enacted.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? And opposed?
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to say anything, but yeah.
Mr. Schuman was opposed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you,
I just had, my problem with it is the Jewish Community Center at, boy, that goes, 221, we denied them a couple of years ago when they wanted to do a B4 zone.
and that was where?
I'll pull it up.
Right beside
Right beside them?
Panera.
It's, sorry, it's parcel 118 on your map.
Okay.
Both these parcels are zoned B4. This is the one, the parcel
Yeah,
that Mr. Schuman is
it's
referencing.
B1.
Yep.
So,
And what was the reasoning behind that at the time?
Here, you can read them all.
I can provide some.
Well, I mean, the difference between the two applications is what we're doing here is endorsing a historical use, as opposed to that, which if I recall, my memory is not what it used to be, but we were talking about a change in use, as opposed to continuing a use that has been going on for decades, I think.
And it was thought, according to that staff report, that the reuse or adaptive use of the property could be handled without having to
Yep.
rezone it at that particular time.
That's why it was denied.
Pardon me?
Yeah, and that's, you're right, that's why it was denied.
And that's what used to be Sam Stone's law office, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that there was, because of that historic significance issue, that was a major impediment at the time. So people thought, that should be retained because of that. Was the third item on here.
A point of order, we've had a vote.
You've had a vote, yeah.
Then we had a vote. Move. Okay, next item on the agenda is MNS 22-14, Emily Strader, 633 Madison Avenue, and 427 Milton Street.
Mr. President, let me allow, gentlemen, thank you for your time. We'll be following up early next week.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, let's see here. Let me flip to my notes. So here we're looking at what is essentially is a minor boundary adjustment. There are encroachments from both properties that the property owners, Ms. Strader and Ms. Summer, are trying to rectify. The property located at 633 Madison on the left-hand side comprises two parcels of 318 and 318.2. The adjacent parcel the adjacent property 427 Mildred Street is comprised of parcels 317 and 318.1. To address the encroachment issues, the applicant, Ms. Strader, proposes to subdivide a portion of 318 and not convoy, but convey it to adjacent landowner at 427 Mildred. And this is shown in parcel B on the plat attached in the packet. And additionally, Ms. Summer intends to subdivide a portion of parcel 318.1 and convey it to Ms. Strader. And the result would be two conforming parcels of land with respect to the city's zoning code. And here you can see, we went out and took some pictures, and you can clearly see where the surveyor had drawn the stakes, and essentially a portion of the applicant's property here is to be given over to Ms. Strader, and back here, a portion of the property is to be given to Ms. Summer. And this is more shown here. These are the two parcels, the blue and the light teal color here will be conveyed to each adjoiner, and the result will be two new compliant parcels of land that are consolidated.
Okay, so the teal is going to Summer, and the darker blue is going to Strader, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And if you look, I'll go back, you can see the issue of how close these homes are in proximity to one another, and the property line comes down this way and then comes back. They're just readjusting it to the best they can.
Nice to see neighbors cooperating.
It's beautiful.
What happened?
Absolutely.
What's wrong with these people?
Yeah. Okay, any questions for the planner, any discussion?
You said they were compliant now, but are the setbacks appropriate with the new line?
Yes, they are, sir. Yep. They're actually, especially on this piece of property, this was owned by Miss Summer, and she's conveying that to, because previously they were encroachments issues. Mm-hmm. This helps resolve that.
Okay. And the applicant is not present, correct?
She is not.
Okay. Anything you want to say on behalf of the applicant?
No, sir.
Okay.
accepted that they've been very great to work with.
Okay. Any member of the audience like to speak in favor of the petition? Anyone in opposition? Okay, staff recommendation.
Staff recommends that the minor subdivision application be approved by the Planning Commission with the conditions listed in your packet.
Any discussion?
Move for approval, subject to staff conditions.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor? That's unanimous. Next item, NS 22-15, Dawsley and Coppins, tax district 9, tax map 49, parcel 6.
So the vacant parcel of land encompasses 12,000 square feet located on West Virginia Avenue. The applicant seeks to subdivide a portion of that property, which would result in the creation of 2 new vacant parcels of land that conform with the applicable zoning district, as mentioned in your packet. If you can see here, there are 3 lots here, 1 parcel, 3 lots. These are the survey stakes. This is the lot that's to be subdivided. Here's the survey plat. This shows lot 17 to be split, and then the result will be 2 non-conforming lots with respects to the zoning district.
2 non-conforming lots?
2 conforming.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
I was gonna say, why are we doing this?
Important distinction.
Yes, it is.
It's fairly.
We've looked at it.
Any questions for the planner? And the applicant present for this one?
They are not.
Okay. Do you have anything to say on behalf of the applicant?
Do not.
Any questions for the planner? Any member of the audience who'd like to speak in favor of the petition? Anyone in opposition? Staff recommendations.
Staff recommends approval of the minor subdivision contingent on the conditions listed in the packet.
Discussion?
Move for approval, subject to staff conditions.
Motion, do I have a second? Second. Motion second, all in favor? And that's unanimous. Next item is committee reports. Staff comments.
No updates, except that we don't have any business yet for February, but we will probably plan a workshop regarding the comprehensive plan update for 2033. If there is no business, we'll probably try to do something there to have a discussion.
Okay, I'm trying to think of what's the, I won't be gone. I'm gone Monday and Tuesday that week. Okay.
And if something we need to reschedule, we can. Staff just received a full copy of the draft report. We're going through and making edits and revisions before we bring it to the full board for additional review and for looking at the different implementation strategies and trying to prioritize, which was done previously.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Anything for the good of the commission?
Move to adjourn to the work session.
Well, let's adjourn then.
All right, let me go check with Dan real quick to make sure we...